And we are live. Hey guys, welcome to Real Talk with Heather and Andres. I am Heather. I am here with real topics and real conversation.
And I'm Andres with Charla Sencilla. Simple, straight talk that gets to the point. And together, we are here to bring you stories, strategies, and truth behind success. Well, let's get started, Heather.
Let's get started. And today we are live streaming. So if you're not already following us, make sure you subscribe and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. And just kick our little QR codes right there, and you can follow us. That way you guys never miss a show.
Man, see, notification, boom, to get started. Man, Heather, we'll be going at this now for what, 10 weeks, 9 weeks?
Yeah, we've been going at it for a hot minute.
I think it's going great. So many opportunities coming up, opening doors. We hear so many stories and continue to get insight from people. Guests wanting to come on board, so we're excited to put some things. We're putting some things together to um, bring more and more content, and definitely a lot of great insights and opportunities for you guys as well. So excited for what's ahead.
I definitely am excited. I'm excited to be able to bring people onto the podcast and let them share their talents, their traits, and their business.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just yesterday, I had someone reach out that own a wedding venue and they wanted to come on board. So setting that up and have a conversation with them again, and look forward to having them on the show later on and share their point of view on how they got started with that business and where things are at today. So yeah, different stories for anyone that's looking to start up their business, their journey of entrepreneur. Um, it's great to hear from different fields because we all have a different point of view. We all have a different story. And it's great that we can get these different angles, but the main focus of that is as entrepreneurship, diving into the specific of what that is.
And
And, and
we're definitely dealing with a different world than we were, post or not post, but pre-COVID, because pre-COVID we weren't so much online. I mean, we were online, we had phones, but COVID kind of forced all the generations, even older generations that weren't into using technology. Otherwise, there was no way to communicate with people. There was no way to have that face-on-face interaction. And through technology, which is such a great thing, something as simple as FaceTime. People take for granted FaceTime, but my daughter lives about an hour and a half away from me with my grandbabies and her husband. And without FaceTime, I would still see them, but I wouldn't be able to see them on a daily basis. And with FaceTime, we FaceTime several times a day. So because I FaceTime with them several times a day, there's not that distance that there would be if we didn't have technology like that.
oh, absolutely. I grew up with that because without that, right? And when I moved here to US, I didn't see my mom for about 7 years. We didn't have FaceTime, right? And then I went and saw her, and then it was another 10 years by the time I saw her and spent some quality time with her and my siblings. Uh, so having that accessibility now makes a huge difference. For 15, 17 years, I spent maybe 2 weeks with my mom and my siblings. So it was tough. So I'm very grateful that we have this technology now because now my kids, my two sons, they live in California, but I can give them a call and see them. I can more often. Just yesterday, I called my mom and my siblings in DR, just had a FaceTime. I was able to talk to them. So definitely, I'm very grateful for that technology that is accessible now that allows us to continue to see our close ones, although they're not necessarily next to us. Uh, it's important to have that.
It is. And then when you take that and you apply it to a business environment, there were so many people, and there still are some people, but pre-COVID, there are so many people that didn't want to do any type of social media. They're like, no, I'm a face-to-face person. I don't do social media. I don't get involved in that. And now if you're not doing social media, if you're not promoting yourself electronically, you're kind of left behind. There's a whole market out there that you're missing because everybody is like this all the time with their phone in their face. And if you're not in the phone that's in their face, you're not going to be top of mind to that person.
Absolutely. Just funny we're talking about this now because this week my uncle came to mind, and I was gonna reach out to him, and I have not yet, right? And this morning he reached out to me, and he told me, he's like, hey, my brothers and sisters, my father's siblings. My father passed away in 2001 with COVID. But his siblings are getting together in Puerto Rico next weekend. And he's like, I would love for you guys to make it. I would love for you to make it. And I was thinking back, and I'm like, man, I forgot the last time they were all together. It was probably like 15 years ago or so that they were all together. And I had not seen all of them. I haven't seen some of my uncles in at least 10 years or so. And but it's funny how that happens, right? Like technology, I should be able to see them here and there, but I have not seen some of them in over 10 years. And he came to mind, and all of a sudden he's texting me this morning, hey, if you can make it at least for 2 days, try to make it over there next weekend. And but yeah, it's having the technology nowadays is important to be able to stay on top of mind. But in order to do that, you have to use it, right?
And they don't tell you that in real estate school. They don't say, oh, by the way, you're going to have to, produce content online, and you're going to have to be an influencer as well. That's not something that's really covered, but it is. I'm not saying every entrepreneur has to start a podcast, or every entrepreneur has to become an influencer on social media, but you do have to have your social media page. It doesn't hurt to have that up and running. It doesn't hurt your company to have your Google My Business account to get your reviews, because those are all things people are looking at.
Yeah, it's how you want people to find you. How do you want people to know about your business if you're not letting them know that you have a business? Even for in real estate, we often talk about, your sphere. Do they know you're a real estate agent? You know, the next thing you know, one of your friends bought a house with another agent just because they didn't know you didn't have your real estate license. We don't do a good job on letting people know that we're an agent. Uh, and now that we have so many tools accessible and available, ready to go, let's take advantage of it. Regardless of what business you're in, you have to, adapt growth. A few years ago, we were talking about AI. How far out was it going to be, right? I went to a conference and they were talking, oh, it's going to be, people were saying that it's going to be about 5 years, 10 years down the road. And they're like, oh, it's here now.
Right?
Yeah. And sure enough, so many different tools are coming out, so many different ways to use AI and how to use it, to adopt and use it and take advantage. Yeah. And today we're diving into some specific areas of using that technology, right? With Canva.
We are actually, and we were just talking about that earlier, about all the different technology and all the things you can do. Canva's come out with some really cool stuff. It's not brand new, but it is like new to you, I guess you would say, if you haven't used it before. And if you don't have a Canva subscription, I would definitely say upgrade, get the pro account. But the one I have is the Canva Pro. I'm trying to remember how much it costs. I want to say it's less than $30 a month. I'm not sure of the exact amount. But with Canva Pro comes a lot of the AI features. Now, some of the AI features you do have to pay more for, kind of like per usage. But I will say they do save you a lot of time in the long run when you're trying to create content, when you're trying to bulk upload. If you have the CRM that we have, you have the capability of doing something which is bulk uploading and scheduling post. So basically what you can do is you can take a Excel spreadsheet, Google Sheet, whichever one you prefer to use, and fill that with a bunch of content. It has to be done in a certain way, and we can walk through how to do that. And then you upload that into the CRM, and then you can bulk schedule a crap ton of posts. So you have all those going out. So it's basically like a one and done. You set it and it's out and it's scheduled, and you don't have to worry about daily sitting there and posting these things. Now, it does take a little bit of setup and a little bit of work on the back end, but everything does, right? So whether you're doing it yourself or whether you have an assistant or a social media manager that does it for you, it's a really nice tool to be able to utilize.
It's like what we talk about on Tuesday with setting up the automation, creating all the different workflows. The initial setup will require time, require patience to set everything up in order to automate the next steps moving forward, which will save you a lot more time down the road and potentially increase the number of leads coming through your business, right? But you have to sit down and be able to get it done. Otherwise, you're spending more time doing things separately and trying to filter out all those leads that are coming through and create each content individually and posting, which is, let's be honest, not everyone is doing out there.
No, not everybody. Not everybody. One, people don't realize the importance of it, and then two, they don't have the time. Time comes down to a lot of it. Or three, they don't know how to do it, and they feel like it's too overwhelming. It's too scary to venture into a new subject that they're not used to. But it just takes a little bit of learning. And what the great thing is about technology with today's day and age is everything is a YouTube search away. Everything is just a YouTube video away. If you don't know how to do something, YouTube it, and it'll tell you how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we're there too, right? And be able to help and put some of this content on there on YouTube and help you find it and find it useful and be able to get things done. Because at the end of the day, want to help facilitate that transition and be able to get things in place in order to use them and maximize the opportunities.
I'm going to screen share and show you guys a little bit of the stuff that Canva has available. We're not going to go too deep in it. We're just going to do like a little bit of it, and then we're going to dive into some other topics that we wanted to cover today. But real quick, just to give you guys a taste of what Canva can do, and then make sure you're following us on our channels, because on our channels, I'm actually going to post in-depth walkthroughs of how to do these things step by step. I'm not going to go into this on the podcast because obviously if you're just listening, it doesn't make sense. So this is something that you really need to watch so you can see the step-by-step tutorials, and those will be on our channel. So just make sure you're following us and you can have access to those.
Absolutely.
But if we screen share, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about what we're doing, and you guys can see some of the stuff that we've got. So when you open up your Canva, if you have the paid subscription, you'll have access to Sheets. You might still have access to Sheets even if you don't. It just won't have the same capabilities if you have Canva Pro. So when you open up this spreadsheet, it's just like a Google Sheet inside Canva. And what you can do here is you can create your topics, and then you would have these filled. So go with me on this, because when you're creating a picture, you're going to link these to the columns in the picture. So all this stuff is going to be linked. So it may not make sense now, but it'll make sense then. So we're going to call this hook, and this column we're going to call the call to action. So if we need a hook, let's just say I want, and let me remember how to do this. So we have, let's do this. Let's go up here. And this is your spreadsheet up here with the little actions. These are your magic actions. So you have import data, generate a table, fill empty cells, magic chart, magic insights, magic write, bulk create, resize, and translate. Translate is where we can change it to Spanish. If that's something that you're looking to do, you can change it to Spanish, whatever language you're wanting to change it to. I do believe there's an upcharge for this. That's why it's highlighted here. And if you're putting content, like for me, I don't speak fluent Spanish. So if I was going to translate stuff into Spanish, I would definitely run it by Andres first before I posted anything, because AI is not perfect. It can make mistakes. And if you're putting something out there with your company's information on it, make sure you read it before you put it out. And if you can't read it and understand it, send it to somebody who can. But let's just say, I want to say, and make sure I'm doing this. Let me move my microphone out of the way. 30. Oh, real estate hooks. Let's make them funny. Let's say 30 funny real estate hooks. And then let's do magic, right? Oh, I was supposed to do it here. Sorry. Okay, yeah. I'm going to do funny real estate hook. Okay, then I'm going to hit this, and it's going to give me a funny, and I'm going to hit insert. So where did that go? Here we go. Did someone say move in ready because this house is so clean, even your mother-in-law would be speechless? So that would be like a little funny hook. Now, if I want 30 of these, what I would do is I would come to this little arrow, or I think I would, I can't remember how to do this. Let's go like this. Let's go down to, let's just do 25. And let's do magic fill. Where did it go?
Perfect. Simple, right?
Simple. And it's just going to insert me now, just like the quote above, all these different quotes that are very similar to the one that I asked it to write. So that eliminated the step of going to Chat GPT and saying, give me 30 something quotes or however, 2022. I've found personally that if you work in bunches of 20 or less, it does a better job. If you ask it for more than 20, for some reason, it starts getting kind of wonky. So if you're wanting more than 20, just do 20 at a time and then come here and then do the same thing. Do like 20 more and ask it to fill. Again, it's AI. It's not perfect. So
make sure they're not the same ones.
Yeah, make sure that and they're not using the same ones. So here you go. You have these. And now we want our call to action. So our call to action, again, let me move my mic, is going to be follow us at follow us at realtalkhot.live. Now, I don't want to type that out that many times, so I'm going to come and grab this little crossbow right here in the corner and bring it all the way down to where the cells are highlighted, and then let go, and it copied it for me. Perfect. So now I have my hook, I have my call to action. So now what we need to do to make this a bulk post is come over here, and we're going to add element to this. Now we're not going to hit add page. We're going to hit this little arrow thing. And what that's going to do is it's going to give us these options. We want to hit social media. And then let's do an Instagram post. So let's hit this for an Instagram post. So now what we need is content for this. And you can come over to elements and you can just say, just type in like real estate. And let's see what we get. I'm going to do away with the background. Well, we can do background. I guess that's fine. Let's do this one. So let's bring this one in. So this is our little house, our little table here. And then I'm going to click these little arrows and it's going to say set background as image. So there we go. So this is our little background. Okay. So now we need, what the goal is to bring all of these little sayings that are over here onto this page. So we're going to take this, we're going to come and we're going to grab some text. So let's do a heading and bring that here. This is going to be our hook. So that'll be our hook. So we're going to write hook. And then we're going to grab another one and we're going to say, where did I go? Here I go. Subheading. Actually, this might be too big. So we're going to make this the hook because I think that one's going to be too big. So we're going to make this the hook. And then we're going to make this the call to action. Make sure they're lined up however you want them. What I like to do just to make sure everything is lined up is take the first one and actually put it on the thing so I can see what it looks like. And see, it's a little bit big if we do it like that. So we need to bring it in. Side these little squares. Let's make it a smaller size. Oops. Make it a smaller size. Let's make it 32. There we go. And the same thing with this. Come back over here, grab the first one. Oh. Bring that here. And there we go. So obviously you can make this more decorative, make it bigger, make it smaller, however you want. But for the purpose of the demonstration, we're just going to leave it like this. So now we have this here. We have this here. We have our background. Let's come back over to our spreadsheet. Come to the bottom, highlight everything, go up to actions, and then go to bulk create. It's going to ask you some questions now, and it's going to say, is everything selected that you want? Yes, everything's selected. We're going to hit continue. We're going to go to the currently open design, which is this one. And now we have to link that data. That's what I was talking about earlier. So this we're going to connect, and that's going to be the hook. This we're going to connect, and that's going to be the call to action. And then before we hit go on, go to advanced options, and you want to save this in one design with multiple pages. You may want 21 different designs. I don't know why you would. I haven't come across a reason why I have. I want them all in one design because then if I download them, I can download them into a zip file and extract them. If you want 21 individual designs, you can do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do one design with multiple pages. Hit create. It probably said there was an error because I have 50 million things going on my computer right now, but they're still here. It just didn't save them. I just need to make sure I save them. And here we go. Here's all those designs that we just created. And then you would just go through them, make sure they're all lined up properly.
Perfect.
And make sure whatever edits you want to make to the main thing is done before you bulk create. But if we were like set to go and I was like, okay, cool, this is ready. I just made 21 different posts. And I don't know how long did that take us? Maybe like 10 minutes?
Yeah, maybe 10 minutes. So we're going through the example, but probably do it faster. Get ready, go through it a lot faster, a lot quicker, and then it will take more time if you're using creating a separate page, different design, right?
Right. And if I wasn't explaining, I could have done it a lot faster. But once you learn how to do it and you know what you're doing, you can go through here and create these really quick. The time that it takes comes into when you're trying to decide what kind of background you want to use, what color font, if you're trying to make it all pretty. I've never used this background before. I actually like it. So now that I have these, I'm going to use these because these look nice. So this might be something that I save and then give as a template to our cloud agents as a free template, free content for them to use inside our Cloud Connect communities.
Yeah, and this is exactly what me and some of the agents on my team we're doing tomorrow because we're searching for wanted to create a template for the whole month, create content for the whole month, and you look around, there's different companies that are doing exactly this, right? You use the AI tools, and they're just telling you their content for the month for membership. If you already have number of these subscriptions, just sit down for a few hours and create the content for the whole month. The things are available to you right there, and you can use the AI to generate that content rather than paying, another company to do exactly that. So it's essentially what they're doing. They're just doing it for you. But if you have an assistant, if you have the time to do it, sit down and make it happen.
Yep. And once you do that, once you do the creating and you post it, the more you post, the easier it'll get and the more recognizable you'll become to your following.
And staying on top of mine, right? People are gonna see, man, I see Andres everywhere. I see Heather. I see Real Talk everywhere. So essentially, we want to be able to help you as much as we can. So it's all part of that, right? And regardless of what business you're in, whether it's food, service, um, barbershop, anything, you can use this tool to promote your business and get in front of more people.
Yep. What were you going to say? You're going to say something about and then I accidentally cut you off with tomorrow with the agents that you were going to work with.
Oh yeah, we're gonna sit down and create content in Spanish. I want to work with the Hispanic community, and they were looking at getting and paying a membership for another company to do that. And I said, hey, hold your horses right now. You already have a Canvas, account. You probably already are paying for all the tools that are available to you, and you have the time now. One of them is going through the process of getting licensed in another state. One of them is consistently posting content. I said, let's sit down and put a content together and use the tools that are available to us to create that content rather than paying or going elsewhere. Let's see what we have in front of us before we make that decision. So we're gonna get together and go through that and do exactly what we're doing right now.
So let's do an experiment. And I have not used this feature yet. And since I have you here, let's take all of the stuff, the hooks that we just created, and come up and go to translate. Now, again, I haven't used this before, so let's see what happens. We're going to go to Spanish.
Do they have Dominican Spanish?
Let's see.
Trust me, they probably won't. It's
I'm just looking at all the difference. So Danish.
if I put that out here, nobody will understand me.
I'm just kind of slowly going through all the languages so people can kind of get an idea of what they have. We have Spanish here. It doesn't look like it. Let me just have Spanish. So we want this to be original. I guess you can change the tone. Now, keep in mind, too, when you're translating things from one language to another, there's sometimes not always a direct translate word for word. So we're saying,
Yeah,
if we say original, it's going to try to translate it probably like,
as close as possible to what it is.
yeah.
And and on the language itself, I found sometimes the sentence would not make sense because of the literal translation that was put in place. So you may have to make some small adjustments uh, to the translation.
I'm gonna put this on professional just so it knows that this is a professional setting, and then we're gonna hit translate, cross our fingers, and see what happens. So let's see what happens when we hit translate, and I'll fill you guys in later on how much it charged me to do this because I haven't used this feature yet.
We're gonna find out later, huh?
Right on my bill comes. Okay, so it says okay, so it says professional, so it looks like it came over here and it translated it. So Andres, I'm going to open the cells wider so you can see. Let me shut this so you can tell us if this is making sense. Are they big enough for you to see?
Are you able to zoom in a little bit? There we go. Perfecto. Alguien mencionó lista para mudarse. Esta casa está tan impecable que incluso tu suegra quedaría sin palabras. That's good. Entra y descubre un entorno donde cada detalle resplandece. Se guarda un nuevo radiante comienzo. I have to look into that one. It looks good though. So the other ones, preparado para una vivienda que te cautive desde el primer momento. Esta posee un atractivo excepcional. Muy bien. I like this.
So for the
Nice.
most part, it looks like it's doing pretty good at the translating.
Yeah, it does. It does. La cocina está tan impecable que desearás preparar todas las comidas aquí, incluso el desayuno de los lunes. Muy bien. I like it. I think it does a great job. Um, nice. And what? It took less than a minute to translate everything?
Yeah, it didn't take very long to translate at all. So let's go now and let's highlight everything. Let's go to bulk create.
Imagine sitting there and translating each one individually, like back in the day.
Yet that would not be fun.
Trust
Oh,
me, I went through a lot of that. I came here to this country. I did not know anything in English.
Okay, well, I messed up what I was trying to do because then I went to the bulk create one. So we'll have to actually kind of start over to do that. And I don't want to sit here and delete these all by hand. I was just trying to make one where it would bulk create all of it. But actually, let me just do this since we already have it.
That reminds me when I was in my ESL class. Remember a few weeks ago I mentioned a English teacher I had. I used to read a lot in his class. Um, Anytime I had a book, I had a dictionary right next to me because I was learning English. I was understanding the basic, but there was a number of words that I did not understand in the book. Um, and I always had the dictionary right next to me. So, book in one hand, the dictionary in the other one. So, but yeah, just imagine doing that with this type of work. It's great to have this technology that is able to, in seconds, get you an answer.
I'm going to just go ahead and do one for the um, bulk create real quick for this one so that we can kind of see what it'll look like. What size is that? Oh, that should be fine. What it'll look like in Spanish. So let's compare, highlight it all, back up to our bulk create, continue, currently open, connect that data. And then generate. Open this up. And then there we go. Now I didn't go through and, make it smaller before I generated all of them just for time purposes. But you can see if I had done that the first time and made sure they were all inside there, it would have been better. But you can see it'll bulk create it and it'll make all of those in Spanish.
Nice. Nice. So yeah, man, if you're in business, regardless of what business you're in, and you need to put this type of work in and use a CRM that allows you to post and schedule all your content for an entire month or two, right? Uh, Man, let us know. We're happy to help. We're happy to have a conversation and introduce you to these platforms and these tools that are available to you. So it's um it's great to be able to sit here and show these tools that are available to us. Because I'll tell you what, when I came into the industry on real estate, I've always wanted to be in the real estate, but like I think I said this before, I did not have a clear expectation into how things work, right? And then coming in, not having someone that say, "Hey, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to focus on. These are some of the tools that are accessible." You could easily feel very discouraged on coming in and not knowing what to do and not have a clue of what's next. It's like getting thrown in the water with sharks and you have no sense of direction. You can easily drown. But coming across great group of people, um, I'm able to. I've seen all these different areas where you can excel in the business, all the different details and systems that you need to have in place in order to grow, um, in order to scale to the level that you are wanting to, and the technology that is available allow you to, you know, use and establish all the systems a lot sooner and be able to progress. Because otherwise, it's hard, right? Uh, it's not easy as it's seen, but yet it's not as hard as you think either. If that makes sense.
It does. It's when you first become, and this actually applies to really any industry. But when I first became an agent with Keller Williams, they were very big on call your leads, call your leads, call your leads, get in front of people, get in front of people. But there wasn't a lot of how do you get those leads? How do you get in front of those people? It was just, get on the dialer, get on the dialer, get on the dialer. And while I do think that answering the phone, picking up the phone, making those phone calls is very important and detrimental to the success of your business. It's a small aspect of many different um, elements that go into having all those different touches. Like I know, especially with Keller Williams, I talk a lot about the touch points of making sure that you're reaching out, connecting with your leads. So if you're making the phone call and you make the phone call, but you don't follow up with anything, are you really top of mind, or are you just a random phone call that they got that day? Just a phone number that they looked at, watched the phone ring, and then kept on with their life?
Yeah, just yesterday I had an agent call me. I think you may know the agent. I'll tell you afterwards. But we sent out one of the text messages in automation because of what we had in place in the calls, and he reached out to me and he was like, "You guys do an excellent job at reaching out to me exactly at the right time." He's like, "I don't know how you do it, but it's always when I'm looking to have a certain conversation, you're always right there on top of mine." And he's like, I need to sit down and talk to you. I want to get back to getting this going. I have so many things happening for me. They're going the right way. I'm excited to get this going back on. So let's have let's sit down next week and have a conversation. But because with what you're saying, just being able to have the systems in place to continue to stay on top of mind with people, because something I've heard consistently is if you're not in a gate of change, right? If people are not in a gate of buying or moving, um, when you talk to them, no matter what you say, they're not going to move, right? But it's continuously having those touch points and coming across that opportunity of change for them to happen. Just like what we said before, there's no such thing as a missed opportunity. He just went to somebody else because they touch him at the right time, and sure enough, we touched him yesterday. He called me up and said, "I need to talk to you. Let's get things rolling again. Have him on the calendar next week." But it goes with that, creating consistent content to stay on top of mind, because people are gonna move, whether you are touch base with them. People are gonna get another client to serve them, whether you are the person or not. You just gotta be able to touch them and continue to stay on top of mind.
And not only that, like creating content is also a great way to ultimately have another source of income, another income stream coming in. Because not right away, but eventually after you build up your content, you can start getting paid for the content you post online. So the more you post, the more you're recognized. The more you post, the more you're rewarded. The more you post, the more that platform is going to push out your content. You can't think that you're just going to post one thing and then it's going to go viral. You're going to have to continue to post, continue to post, continue to post. And then once you reach a certain level, you'll start getting paid from that platform. So not only now can you get paid from the platform for posting content, but you're also going to be rewarded from the content you're promoting by getting clients, because that was the whole point of the content, was to get clients. And the more you post, the more you're pushed out there, the more visibility you have, the more likes, the more shares, the more saves you get. So when you're posting things, try to post things that not only advertise you, get your name out there, but also have a call to action or something to do. Most of my things that I post have something that say something to the effect of like, send this to somebody who, and then ... fill in the blank, or drop a comment if this happened to you today. Something that makes them interact with your post. How many times are you like scrolling online on Thrace and you see something and you send it to Ellie or you send it to your kids because you're like, oh, that's funny, I'm gonna send it to them so they can see it?
Way too much, too many times that I should. I'll be honest, because I should be focusing on other things.
And most of that stuff that you're sharing, those aren't paid ads, right? Those are just things people
No,
posted. Yep.
that's how it is.
Yep. So that's organic. That's organic marketing right there. And they're using the consumer. We're using the consumer. And they're sending something out there. They're saying, "Hey, this is funny. I made this funny video. Post it." And then the masses see it, and then they share it. They like it. It gets spread around. Let's say you send something to Ellie. She thinks it's funny. She sends it to somebody who sends it to somebody who sends it to somebody. And then before you know it, from that one post, how many hundreds of people have seen it?
Yeah. And that's the power of the social media nowadays, right? How many people can you reach just like that, and continue to grow? I saw reading a book of the content on creating the YouTube videos, right? One of the things they talk about is, look, that content there is for as long as YouTube allows you to see it, right? And it's just a library of people that can continue. You can continue to impact people and help people because of that content. And if they like it, they're gonna share it. And just like you said, just from one video, just from one post, people are gonna you're gonna touch a wide range of people. So it's important to put yourself out there. And that's something that I'll be honest, I had a problem with. I still have a problem with. So, right, creating video to put myself out there. I think we always have. We want to be perfect. We want to be perfect. We want to portray to be this perfect image of what we wanted to look at. But something I learned from Alex Ramosi is you have to create content for yourself to solve the problem for yourself, because by doing so you are impacting a number of people that are going through that similar situation, that are having the same problems, and you don't realize that you're helping a lot more people than you thought you would. When you try to find a problem of somebody else, you're not doing such a great job in solving those problems. But focus on solving that thing for yourself, and that alone will be much more impactful. And when we're creating video, when I wanted to create video before we even started this content, we're trying to find for the perfect moment, for the perfect whatever it was. Uh, and the perfect moment is just at that moment, just do it. You know, what I said, let's just get it started. It, you know, if we fail, if we screw it up, people are gonna let us know, man, you guys suck. You do this, you gotta do that, and we can make arrangements. We can make improvement from there. But it's the important thing is starting, and then make an adjustment as you go along
Yeah.
to improve the quality and improve the things that are
And you
important.
you will mess up and you will make mistakes. I just did that. I sent out to all of our cloud agents a workflow, and in the workflow, I put the wrong link, and the link wasn't working. And so it was totally user error. It was totally me. And so I had to send out another email and another text message that was like, "Oh, this is embarrassing," but I sent out the wrong link. So here's the correct link to access your portal. And it's crazy that like things like that can keep people back from doing this type of stuff, because they're like, what if I make a mistake? If you make a mistake, you make a mistake. Just
That's it.
own the mistake, say you made the mistake, and then move on. Because for me, when I realized we had a couple agents messaging, Sean and Kara, and they were saying, hey, this link isn't working, and I was like, why isn't the link working? The link should be working. I realized the mistake I had made in the workflow, and the link, yes, should have worked. With the action that I performed should have worked, but it was because of another thing that I did in there. It didn't. So I had to readjust it and send it back out and be like, oops, my bad. But it's never going to be perfect. And we are human and we do make mistakes. And even if we're not human, AI makes mistakes. That's why you have to double check everything that AI does, because it can make mistakes. But if you're waiting for the perfect, if you're waiting for the no mistakes, or you're scared you're going to make mistakes, you are going to make mistakes.
That's that's one of my affirmations every day. Every challenge, every mistake is an opportunity for growth. You know, you have the opportunity to learn from that, get better. Take responsibility, get better, carry on, continue to practice, continue to make it happen. So otherwise, you're blocking yourself. You know. Uh, and I heard a story with this guy did not learn from the mistake on a particular transaction. And for years, he did not move forward and lost the opportunity to make millions because he did not, uh, own to that mistake, accept the responsibility, did not see past that, and he was kept blaming everybody else, and moving forward, never took advantage of any opportunity that was in front of him because he thought he never did anything wrong. And it happens. It happens quite often, you know.
I think it's always better. One thing I try to teach my children too is that if you make a mistake or you do something wrong, it is so much better just to own up to the mistake. Admit the mistake, admit what you did wrong. Even if it wasn't a mistake, even if you intentionally did something and you realize later, oh, that was wrong, I shouldn't have done that, own up to it. Admit it. If you're, feeling remorseful later, say, I'm sorry I did this. This is why I did it. I shouldn't have done it. And this is how I'm going to try to change in the future. But don't lie about it. Don't bury your head in the sand and try to pretend it didn't happen. That's the worst thing you can do. It's the worst
Yeah,
thing. If you were like with my kids, I'm like, if you did something, you're going to be more in trouble for the lie than you are for what the actual act was. You're much better off just coming and saying, hey, I did this. I shouldn't have done it. I know I shouldn't have done it, but I did it because if I find out you did it and then you lie about it, the consequence for the lie is going to be way more severe than the consequence for the action that you did.
just imagine the pressure of always trying to stay behind the lie. Like that must be tough. You gotta you cannot cross that down line because people don't know if it's a lie. Only you know, and you always have to live by that one bubble while everybody else is minding their own business.
It's
Like,
crazy too. We just had this talk with a couple of our children actually, and it's like everybody knows somebody in their life that lies, and everybody knows that person, and everybody around that person knows that that person is a liar, and you can't count on them, and they're not reliable, and you don't want to be that person. Um, and it's interesting because you would think for people who lie so much, they would be better at it, but they're not. They're not good. They lie all the time, but they're lying because they're not good at lying. And I'm like, how are they this bad when they have so much practice at lying? But you're right, it's so hard to like try to keep up with the lie.
seriously, it has to be. Like, I don't get it. Like, that's tough. One of the things this is me all the time. It's so easy to be me, you know, authenticity at all times. No matter where you see me, you may see me down the street. I'm walking inside the store, and you can tell it's me because I'm probably dancing my way into the store. You know, that's just everywhere you see me. I'm either singing, dancing. And Ellie, a lot of time asks me, he's like, "What song do you have right now?" Sometimes you try to guess the song by my movement, but that's me. Like even with the clients, that's me. Like this is what you get at all times. And I'm comfortable in my space. I'm comfortable being me. But I didn't grow up like that. Like I was a quiet, reserved guy in a corner, just minding my own business. Leave me alone. Do your thing. Uh, and it took me a while to get this comfortable. And to for some things, I still, have a hard time. But I've learned that I just gotta try. I don't lose anything with trying. I don't lose, in turn I gain a lot more because now I know what I'm comfortable and not comfortable, and continue to push myself to get better in each category that may not be at my comfort level yet. You know, for everybody else, that's their problem if they're not comfortable with how I am. It's not my problem. I think what I spend too much time caring about what other people think about how I do a certain thing. I always keep them professional, but you have to be you, authentic, you at all times, and people will gravitate to that more than putting a shell and keeping that shell. It's so hard to sustain that. I think it's so hard to sustain that shell. And something Sean mentions all the time is like you are your brand. Like who do you want people to know? If you give your word, you're gonna do this by this time. Are you meeting that deadline? You know, if they see how I am with my character, I always show up with a good energy, happy place. That's who I am. That's my brand.
And it's exhausting trying to be somebody else, trying to be something that you're not, because that ultimately is a lie too. If you're presenting a persona of yourself that you're not, it's hard to keep up that facade. I I was going to tell a story, but I can't remember the details, so it kind of makes it irrelevant. But there, and I'm going to have to ask my oldest daughter now. I was thinking about lying, thinking about a time that I lied and it just like snowballed out of control. And I'm going to have to ask her for the details. But it's something about, there were AirPods. I got AirPods, and I want to say it was like around Christmas time or something like that. And we didn't want to tell the two younger girls about these AirPods, that I had got these AirPods. And I think it had to do with like another Christmas gift. So I'm not entirely sure. But anyways, we made up the story that like I won them in like this like giveaway. I won these AirPods, and that's why I had these random AirPods. And then my two youngest daughters, especially my youngest one, is like a little Nancy Drew, I swear. She kept asking me all these questions. And so since I'd already told this lie, I had to like keep going with it. And then Belle had to keep going with it. And she was like, well, where was the raffle? How many people entered the raffle? What other prizes were there? And like, there were just all these, and it just kept snowballing out of control. And it was like a really stressful situation because we were like too far in it now to like try to back out of the lie. And it was just a lot. And my youngest one, she's going to find out. If anybody's going to find out, anyone, it's going to be my youngest daughter. She knows everybody and knows everything about everybody. So don't try to lie to her. She will definitely sniff out that lie. But
That's a detective, huh?
it's crazy. It just, one little lie. And if you're running to keep that lie, has to snowball into more lies and more lies and more lies and more lies.
Yeah, seriously, it's a lot tougher than just being yourself.
Lying is hard. To me, telling the truth is so much easier. Even if there's consequences for it, it's still easier.
Exactly. And applying that into business and your brand, what do you want your brand to be? You want to consistently portray something that you're not trying, that doesn't align with your end goals. And I think it's important to align everything. Something I do, I'm just listening to Jim Rohn and Napoleon Hill. All your micro goals need to align with your long-term goals. You know, um, a lie doesn't align with my long-term goal of creating this great real estate organization of bilingual agents. So I gotta be honest, truthful in what I'm doing and what my vision is, and every action is towards that end goal. So, but it's great. I don't know how people do it, but that's not in my character to be able to sustain anything like that. Every little details, um, that we want to have here, every guest, everything that happens. I give you a call. Hey, Heather, what do you think about this? What do you think of that? You know, just see after our conversation, I call my partner Sean and let him know, hey, Sean, I have an idea for this. And he's like, why are you calling me about this for? You already have the green light. I'm like, I know, but it's just me. It's my nurture to call you, let you know what I have in mind, what's going to happen, this and that. He's like, man, I appreciate that. You always keep me on, pass it through me and things like that. I'm like, that's just we operate. We are a partner in this. Not decision is going to go on my end without you guys knowing my circle. So it's automatic. It's a habit for me to do that. So that's the beauty of it.
Yep. That's
Building great relationships like this.
good business.
Yeah, and you guys know, everything that comes through me, you guys are gonna know exactly what's going on, and every single time. But man, Heather, I wanted to take a couple of minutes because we're putting together a great content for down the road. We've met with one of our guests coming up. We're putting that together to be able to bring some great insight into entrepreneurship, be able to provide CRM to anyone in different business that are looking or could take advantage of what we're offering with the CRM, and also real estate space for agents that are having a hard time with leads, or have tried other companies and haven't had some great success with leads and growing their brand and growing their business, we're putting together this episode to be able to provide you guys some great insight, great information, and it's going to be outstanding. So I'm excited for what we're putting together here.
I'm very excited too. I think we're going to do kind of like a special segment where we really dive into a lot of the coaching and learning and tools, and it's going to be packed full of goodies that people aren't going to want to miss because they're going to want to take advantage of the limited time offers.
Absolutely, very limited time, and I'm grateful we have our guest coming on board. He's gonna. I have the pleasure knowing him now for just about a year or so, and we dove into so many different conversation in depth into so many different areas of entrepreneurship, mentorship, being there for yourself first and foremost. Right? You have to want it. You have to. If you get in this field, you have to want it, and it's important being there for yourself. So we're gonna dive into all of the different details, and he brings so much value to the table. To anyone that works with him, he's one of the guys I definitely recommend you to plug in and learn from him. So much to share, so much to give out, and I'm excited to get this on board because it's gonna be good. So stay tuned. We're gonna put out more content over the next week or so, and show you guys what we're all about and what we're putting together. So
I'm really excited for the two. I'm going to bring up our little thing here, make sure everybody is following us. We're definitely going to have something special for real estate agents, but this is also open to everybody, any industry that you're in. However, if you are a real estate agent, we're definitely going to have a special opportunity for you. So you're not going to want to miss that. Make sure you guys are following us so that you can get your exclusive discounts on your continuing education. And then make sure you never miss that episode by going and following us on all of our channels.
absolutely. Follow us, and another little insight in the coming weeks, month, also putting together another guest, dive into cryptocurrency and how's that coming along in the real estate space. So I just wanted to provide you guys some little nuggets here and there because that's coming, that's in the works for the next month or so. So great things happening, great things happening. And again, always follow us, stay tuned for more, stay up to date on all our episodes. Head in the Clouds, Real Talk with Heather and Andres.
Yep, and that is going to be it for us today, guys. Thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you next Tuesday, and we're going to have more details on those exclusive opportunities for real estate agents.